die, knowing that I will make them suffer. Everyone.
Hey everyone, what's up? This time I'm talking about Scarecrow, and I have my dog with me, so if you hear like breathing or whatever, that's probably her. So if you haven't seen one of these videos before, what I do is I give some backstory about the character, I go into their weapons and capabilities, and then I talk about how dangerous they would be in a realistic real-life setting. So let's get into it. Jonathan Crane was a meek child, often bullied by his peers for his gangly appearance. This constant adversity in his adolescence led to Crane's fascination with fear, leading him to eventually become a psychologist and professor. Over time, Crane's fascination with fear's effect on the human mind began to lead him down a dark path where his patients eventually became test subjects. Crane worked without rest to develop his fear toxin, which could be administered in an aerosol form or via a liquid injection. Crane eventually embraced his gangly appearance and took on the name Scarecrow, and dedicated his life to not just understanding fear, but implementing it upon others. Crane is somewhat tall, but very skinny and weak. He has no combat ability whatsoever, aside from his main weapon, which is his fear toxin. I've spoken about toxins as a weapon before, when discussing Joker Venom. Fear toxin is similar to Joker Venom in its dangerous capability, but unlike Joker Venom, it isn't always fatal. The purpose of fear toxin isn't exactly to kill. It's to trigger the fear receptors in the brain to their max level while often causing hallucinations. Fear toxin can be fatal, and one can even overdose on it, being locked in a permanent state of fear or just having a heart attack and dying. What makes fear toxin so dangerous is its ability to incapacitate nearly everyone exposed to it and its multiple methods of delivery. Scarecrow is often shown firing the fear toxin from a spray on his wrist. While this can be countered by wearing a gas mask, he can also inject syringes full of a liquid version of the fear toxin directly into the bloodstream of his enemies. Other times, Scarecrow has been shown to poison people with his fear toxin in large terrorist attacks, and other times he's been able to wear the fear toxin in his cologne. I have also seen Scarecrow use fear toxin smoke bombs, which would probably be one of the better ways to weaponize his toxin. I could also see him using some form of a grenade launcher as well. That would really help with his ability to attack targets. That would really help with his ability to attack targets that are quite far away, and also to spread his toxin to large groups of people at once. One downside to the toxin is that it seems like one can build up a resistance to it over time. For instance, there's Batman, who has been poisoned by fear toxin so many times that he can basically brush his teeth with it without any side effects, except maybe cavities. Another weapon that Scarecrow sometimes uses is his Scythe. Scythes are pretty terrible weapons. They are weighted in such a way that makes it awkward to swing. It's also a polearm without a point at the end, which in my opinion goes against the main advantage of a polearm. Even axes for combat are usually pointy at the end. And of course, the Scythe is sharpened on the inside, which just makes it awkward to cut with. The best way to fight with a Scythe, apart from just removing the blade or sticking it so that it's straight ahead like a pike, is to try and stab people with the point, which is, again, a relatively difficult task, just given how awkward and gangly the Scythe is. You know, it's kind of actually similar to the appearance of Scarecrow now that I think about it. They're both awkward and gangly. I wonder if that was on purpose. However, Scarecrow is using the weapon against people who are already under the influence of a fear toxin, so he doesn't really have to worry about people actually putting up a fight when he's holding a Scythe. And, you know, a Scythe is a relatively intimidating and scary weapon, so I guess it gels well with its purpose to strike fear into others. So I'm going to say it's fine here. Overall, I'm going to say that the Scarecrow has a danger score of a 6 out of 10. While anyone can beat him up without too much difficulty, the fact that this guy at any given time has the capability to take out large areas of cities with his dispersible fear gas makes him a massive threat. Of course, this is countered by things like gas mask, people who have firearms that are outside the range of the fear gas, and of course, the wind. Scarecrow, more than most of the villains that I've covered, is someone who really needs to pick his battles. He can very easily be placed in situations where he is almost no threat at all, but at the same time could potentially incapacitate hundreds of thousands of people. I'd like to see in the comments what any of you think about Scarecrow's danger level, and also what's your favorite incarnation. I really like the Arkham Knight Scarecrow and Cillian Murphy's depiction in the Dark Knight trilogy. Okay, so I'll see you next time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.